Hello everybody and welcome to the Pianimals Spring 2021 first question and answer session. You've been very quiet this week. I don't have much to talk about. I guess one thing I can announce is that now the heating has finally been turned off in this apartment so I can tune the piano without risking ruining the tuning right away. So next time I do one of these, hopefully the tuning will be in better shape. I have a question from Brian Hagar McGee, which is very simple. How do you play Forte? Is it a combination of weight and structure building? And so this is an opportunity for a real look at this. No, it is not a combination of weight and structure building. In piano playing throughout the world, and even at the very highest levels, I see it over and over again. Really highly gifted concert pianists playing pianissimo beautifully, playing fast passage work beautifully, going to large chords and ruining their sound by bringing weight into the picture. There's an overriding perception that in order to play louder you have to use more weight, and that's exactly what ruins the whole picture. A weighted touch is a slow touch. When weight falls, it takes time to pick up speed. And to make a loud sound, you have to move the key much more quickly. Now, if you stiffen to move the key quickly, then of course you're going to create a harsh sound. So the whole art of playing Forte is to build the structure quickly but with no sense of weight. Let me try. It's a nicer tuning. So look, I can play a chord in so many different ways. I can lie down. Actually, let's see. Can you really see my hands? Let's see. That's a little better. I can just lie down to the keys. There, I'm actually moving my fingers like this, and then sliding forward and palming, so I can just melt into the keys. I can stand up into the keys. It gives a different sound. Did you hear the sound change? I didn't try to play louder, but the fact that I am standing up, for every action there's an equal and opposite reaction. The fingertips go down, the hands hip joints go up, and more speed is brought to the action. Therefore, a change in tone, easier to... It's much easier to voice when you're standing up. Voicing by bringing weight in is tremendously cumbersome. So now I'm going to weight the touch, and now I'm going to just stand up quicker. Which one do you like more? I'll give you 3 guesses. The second one, the second one, and the second one. So playing loud is all about quick movement, which does not compress the key. Quick movement which frees the key. Now you'll notice my wrist is popping up. But that's, in Forte, that's a natural reaction. I always yell about the wrist not being too high. But of course, the louder you play, the more of the skeletal structure is brought to bear on the key. So you won't, with my wrist down, I can get pretty loud, but I can open up the sound by making the kinematic chain go further back. You notice when my wrist goes up that I do not at all lose potency and movement and structurality in the hands hip joint. The hands hip joint is free, moving, soaring, floating, balanced, and now because of the increased speed, boom, there's a higher wrist behind it. But I did not fall. If I fall, there will be a collapse of the structure, or there will be a stiffening of the structure. There will be a stiffening plus a release afterwards. If you stand quickly, you're already released. Boom, I'm already released. Why would I relax? I'm already totally relaxed. Bam. And and I'm balanced, and I'm potent, and I'm in the true ergonomically efficient neutral, the neutral point being the point at which the greatest amount of kinetic energy is available. So I can do another one, another one. You know, I think I'm just going to say that, because if I keep talking, it's just going to cloud the waters. I think I've given a pretty clear and precise little vignette as to what the issues are in playing loud. So look at this, try it out yourself, and come back to me with more, further questions and the need for clarification, or did you do this but you meant that, okay? Now, the second question we have is related to this, but it goes into a little bit more detail, so I'll read all of Christian's paragraph. The relatedness is playing loud is one thing, getting tired is another thing. I'd like to know about physical tiredness whilst playing. More specifically, I've noticed that when I am playing tunes, usually improvising a fast tempi with a lot of quarter, I don't know what that means, especially on gigs, where the piano must be heard above a double bass and a drum kit, I tend to get very tired in my hands. Fair enough, that's understandable. I'm assuming this is due to poor technique, tension, and I'd love to look at this in more detail in our private lessons if possible. But it'd be great if you could talk about avoiding tiredness and physical tension whilst playing fast pieces and or loud passages. Okay, so we've I've given you the entire answer. Do you see how bringing any sort of weight is going to tire you out very quickly? Because as soon as you've weighted your touch, something in you has to resist that weight, and now you're going to tire yourself, and bam! When you stand up, instantaneously, the muscle contraction is almost over before it starts. So it bam, and it's done. Bam, and it's done. Therefore, there's no chance for tiredness to develop, for fatigue to develop. A truly efficient movement will be perceived as effortless because the contractions are so instantaneous, and when contractions tend to hang on, it's because they were not really precise, and there's a skewing of the alignment of the bones which forces you to hold on where otherwise you wouldn't. So that's why, when we fall, we tend to misalign somehow. Standing up allows all the bones to align on the fly. You see, everything came into perfect alignment because there weren't any stresses knocking them off. Now, playing fast. Look. I'm walking. I'm running slowly. You see my structure is still good. My structure is not collapsing. I'm running faster. Oh, my structure is even better. I'm running really fast. Oh, my structure got really good. Did you see? The legs became more and more springy, and the structure stayed lifted. Now it's, instead of my skeletal structure is lifting me, and now it's the springiness of my legs that's lifting me. Both of them lift me very well. Now, piano players have a blind spot. We're going like this, and when we go faster and faster and faster, at a certain point, the up disappears. There's this perception that, I can't go really fast and still stay up. But I just showed you, the legs do it really well. Why would the fingers not know how to do that? Well, I'll tell you, because we were putting weight in behind it. Weight, and now we have time to carry the weight and pick it back up again. Catch that weight and pick it up again. Catch that weight and pick it up again. Catch that weight and pick it up. Oh, it's getting harder. It's getting harder and harder to pick the weight up again once we've caught it, because there's no time. Catching the weight and picking it up again is a very slow, laborious action. So of course you're going to go faster and faster, and then you're going to start falling down. At a certain point the fingers just poop out. Now, the generations of pianists who were raised on arm weight and managed to learn how to play fast without tiring, they did a very clever thing, or at least their brains did a very clever thing. Their brains figured out how to get rid of the weight, take the weight out of the equation. And even though they may be thinking with their cerebration, their intellectual mind, I'm still playing with weight, actually what's happening is that all the weight was taken out. And so that's what happens. So when you take the weight out of the equation and you realize, oh, I stood up, and now when you walk, you stand up in a way at every step. Really, but sort of. When you run slowly, you stand up a little bit at every step, and when you run really fast, you're not standing up at every step. You're just you're always up, and the spring just launches you. So it's not a question of having to stand yourself up again each time. It's just springing the already stood up body forward. And so I stand up, and then I just go. See, there's no need to restand and restand and restand. So when you stumble in a fast passage, it's because you perceived the need to restand. So something in the standing finger or the running finger let go, and all of a sudden you're down. You've got to get yourself back up again. Running is keeping yourself up with a springy step very efficiently. That's why they've managed to build running robots which work better than the walking robots. Because it's relatively simple once you figure it out, but pianists, it's a blind spot. And then if you're playing fast and you're bringing weight to the touch, you're going to tire really quickly. So the solution for a healthy, resonant, moving forte, and the solution for not tiring in either forte or in passage work is the same. Stand the F up. Please refer to the first piano semantics meme by Ramon Holzbergen, the famous Batman and Robin one about my teacher told the relax. You didn't stand up. So that's it for the first week of question and answer. Relatively short, but at least that won't bore you for too long. And hopefully this discussion that we just had now will lead to further clarifying points, which I look forward to hearing about tomorrow and in the next set of questions. See you tomorrow.